All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Tuesday. Hopefully you guys are having an awesome day. All right, we've got a full 15-game slate. We're going to talk about every game as always. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, help with the algorithm. All right, let's recap yesterday. We went 3-2 up a half a unit. Yankees money line, Busto. Had some opportunities, man. Just couldn't get it done with runners in scoring position. Ended 6-4. Just really one bad inning from Schmidt where he gave up 4 runs. Kind of derailed this one. Padres, team total over 3.5. Cash that. Padres Tigers over 8. Sweat-free cash. Reds money line. GG. Max Meyer. Got to give him props, man. He did not throw many fastballs. That was really what we were hoping on. The fastballs he did throw, they tattooed him. They absolutely were destroying his fastball. But, man, he was throwing this nasty slider changeup combo, and he was hitting the bottom of the strike zone just pinpoint. And it looked like a fastball coming in, and then the bottom just dropped out. So actually set a major league record. Second person ever to have 14 strikeouts and no walks. So him and Randy Johnson. So, give him props. He had a hell of a night. He was just absolutely on fire. And the Reds need to learn how to hit a slider. That's a couple things we learned. And then lastly, we had Mets team total over 3.5. We hit this twice, actually. Soto hit a 3-run home run. Then it got changed. So they went back to 2 runs. And then Lindor came through with a nice little 3-run knock to put this over for us. So, like I said, 3-2 on the day. It is what it is. We'll take a winning Monday. But let's get into this slate. And I've got 6 best bets for you guys and a juicy little parlay at the end. All right, first game on the card is going to be the Yankees and the Guardians. Will Warren going up against Tanner Bybee. It just screams over. Take over 8. 55 degrees, mid-humidity, high pressure. Not great for carry. We do have a 3-mile-an-hour wind that's going to be blowing out ever so slightly, but home runs are going to be down about 22%, runs down about 10%. If we look at Tanner Bybee, it's kind of been on this flow of like a good start, bad start, good start, bad start. That's really how his season has gone. Now, last start was a bad one. He went 5.2 innings, gave up 6 earned runs, had 5 Ks. So continuing on that trend, he should have a good outing, but I just don't like his pitch mix here. Yankees are hitting the fastball extremely well still. They're hitting the changeup well, 2 of Bybee's main pitches. We look at Will Warren. He's just not been good. He got hurt last game, only went 1.2 innings, but he still gave up 4 hits and some runs during that time. So I like the Guardians here on the money line, but I'm just going to take the over 8. I think runs should be scored today. So just play it safe. Take the over 8. In terms of historical matchups against Bybee, there's really not a ton on this Yankees lineup. Judge is 0 for 4. Paul Goldschmidt's 0 for 3. Anthony Volpe actually is one of the better matchups. He's 3 for 6 with a home run versus Bybee. Austin Wells is 0 for 3. Cody Bellinger is 1 for 2. Jazz Chisholm can't hit anybody, but he's 0 for 3 here, and Osvaldo Cabrera is 1 for 2. So we really don't have a ton of historical data to go on here, but I do just like runs in this spot. Next game is going to be the Reds and the Marlins. Nick Martinez going up against Edward Cabrera. I do think the Reds bounce back and get the win here today. It was a bit of an anomaly yesterday. Like I said, Meyer was just absolutely, he pitched like a demon. The movement on his pitches were just absolutely insane. So just give him his props and move on. Should be a bounce back day for the Reds. Nick Martinez on the bump going up against Edward Cabrera. Now, my only concern with Martinez is he's given up 3 or 4 earned runs in every start. That said, he's had a lot of success against this team. So I don't expect them to come out blazing. So, can I see a spot where the Marlins win? Absolutely. I think there's some opportunities for some guys here for sure. I would say Jesus Sanchez could have a nice day here. Guys like Xavier Edwards is always a good one. Eric Wagaman looked really good yesterday, so he's another one. On the Red side, I think Ellie has a day. I think it's a good bounce back day for Ellie. Jose Trevino, Jake Fraley, Spencer Steer. I think those guys should be able to contribute today. Austin Hayes has just been hitting really well. We saw a little bit from McLean yesterday, so excited about that. But I would take the Reds in this spot. Cabrera's had 2 starts. He's gone 9 innings, given up 8 hits and 7 earned runs. So it could be a high-scoring affair. I wouldn't mind taking the over 8.5 as well in this one. All right, next game, Padres and the Tigers. Let's see. We've got Nick Pivetta going up against Jack Flaherty. So we got a 6-mile-an-hour wind blowing out slightly, kind of from the first base to the third base side. It's going to be 61 degrees with low humidity and high pressure. So not great for carry. I don't think we'll see a ton of home runs. But I still think we'll see some runs in this one. If we look at Flaherty, one game versus the Padres last year, he went 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs. I think it's a great spot to take the Padres here. So give me the Padres on the money line as one of my best bets today in this contest. Just don't like the pitch mix split for Pivetta or for Flaherty. Padres are 5th hitting the fastball. They are 4th hitting the slider. They are 3rd hitting the curveball. That is every pitch he throws. Maybe every once in a while throws a changeup, but Padres are absolutely lighting up his pitches. Obviously, they don't have Luis Arias. I think if they did, they'd probably be the favorite here, but we'll take them. I think minus 102 is the best bet you can get on FanDuel. So already locked that in. That's another best bet. Our next game is going to be the Mariners and the Red Sox. We got Bryce Miller going up against Brian Bayo. Bayo's going to be making his first start of the year. We did see some decent outings from Bayo, but just not a guy I can trust. And I think this Mariners team's been hitting the ball really well. We do have an 11-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to right field. It's going to be 63 degrees with mid-humidity and mid-pressure. So this should equal runs. I don't mind taking the over 9 in this spot. So that said, my only concern here is I think Bryce Miller actually has a pretty decent day. If we look at his pitch splits, he pitches very well against lefties. That's what scares me on the Red Sox. So what I'm going to do in this game, the angle we're going to take is we're going to take Mariners team total over 4.5, trusting that they get to Bayo, and that is a plus money play. So that is one of our official plays, but I do like the Mariners to win this game as well. All right, so we've got the Orioles and the Nats. So we've got Dean Kramer going up against Mitchell Parker. So this should be an interesting matchup. It's going to be 70 degrees, mid-humidity and pressure, about a 6-mile-an-hour wind blowing in from left field. So really not too much. The wind doesn't have a massive impact in this park, so it's pretty much a neutral day. This is a spot where I like the Nats to get this done, but I just can't really get behind Parker's inability to strike people out. That's really kind of where he loses me. That said, D. Kramer doesn't give me a ton of confidence whatsoever. So over 9 is something that I do like in this game. So kind of just like taking the over 9, calling it a day. It's minus 110 on BetMGM. So that's another one of our official plays today. Kramer should get hit up. I think Parker gets hit up today. Now I know the Orioles have struggled against lefties, but when I look at the projections, it's absolutely looking good for the Orioles in that regard. Next game is going to be the Phillies and the Mets. Christopher Sanchez going up against Griffin Canning. So Canning has pitched against this team once this year. It didn't go overly well. That was once last year. So he went, 5 innings, gave up 4 earned runs, only struck out 1. Now, if we look at Christopher Sanchez, he's pitched 4 games at Citi Field. He's 1-0 with a 4.05 ERA. So it's a little inflated just because he had 1 bad game, but he's had 3 good games. It's going to be 68 degrees, mid-humidity and pressure, about an 8-mile-an-hour wind blowing in very, very slightly, kind of from the third base side to the first base side. So I like the Phillies in this spot. One of the plays that almost made the card, just go right back to Old Faithful. I was going to do Phillies race to 4 at plus 100. If we look at Sanchez, he's given up a 143 average to lefties, 264 to righties, so a little more vulnerable with the righties. But when I kind of go through, the projections just aren't great for them. I think, on the Phillies side, I think we're going to see some production from Castellanos, which is kind of rare, but I think he has a really good matchup. He has the best matchup tonight. Alec Boehm has a really good matchup. So when we kind of look at the matchups, the bottom kind of part of the order actually has decent matchups. So I like the Phillies in the spot. Just don't want to pay minus 135. Could look at an over 8. I think that's an option in this one, but Phillies race to 4 would be kind of my best bet in that one. All right, Cardinals and the Braves. Not really a game I want to touch. I like the Braves in this spot. You got Dylan Lee going up against Andre Palante. Palante is a ground ball pitcher to the utmost degree. but it doesn't really matter. We got a 3-mile-an-hour wind, just basically a side wind. It's going to be 70 with mid humidity and high pressure. So high pressure will impact carry a little bit. It's a Braves or spot pass Brave spot or pass for me. I just don't want to pay minus 135. Braves could just all of a sudden the offense could turn off at any moment. So that's my fear with that one. But I do think it's an okay Brave spot. Next one, Rockies and the Royals. Royals are finally at home. Now, I'm going with the trend here. We saw kind of all last year when the Royals struggled on the road to score runs. They would come home in that first game, they would just go lights out with the runs. Now they get the Rockies. It's a perfect pairing. It's beautiful. It's going to be 75 degrees, mid humidity and pressure, and we got a 6-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to left field. So I love this spot here for the Royals. Going up against a terrible Rockies team, one of the worst bullpens, one of the worst ERA in terms of their pitching staff, and a team that is struggling to hit lefties. They're hitting 148 over the last week, 179 over the last 2 weeks. For the season, they're the worst hitting team in the MLB. Actually, I'm sorry, they're second worst to the Royals. But they're hitting 218 on the season overall, striking out at a ridiculously high 34% clip. So give me the Royals here. I think they have a bounce back spot. Royals run line is going to be my play in this game. Next game is going to be the White Sox and the Twins. Another one I kind of want to take run line, but I'm not going to. 6-mile-an-hour wind blowing straight out to center field. Low humidity, low pressure. Bailey Ober on the mound going up against Davis Martin. Ober still rocking a 6.16 ERA. I think he has a really good day, but that said, this feels like a sneaky White Sox spot where they could just all of a sudden start hammering the baseball. So I'm going to pass on this one. I do see some potential for guys like Andrew Vaughn. Benintendi could have a decent day. Luis Robert, some of those guys I think could have some success. But when I look at the pitch mix and pitch splits, it just really sets up for the Twins to have a really nice day offensively. Trevor Larnach has an absolute banger of a matchup. Byron Buxton looks good with his matchup. Carlos Carrera. So all these guys have great matchups. So I can't really get behind them. Maybe a Twins team total over would be the way I'd approach that, just so you can kind of fade Bailey Ober in this spot. All right, next spot, game of the day. I think this is, it's got to, well, I don't know, man. Phillies, Mets. It's either Phillies, Mets, or Dodgers, Cubs. So 2 really good games today. You got Dustin May going up against Shota Imanaga. We do have a 6-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to center field, which is kind of like a 15-mile-an-hour wind in any other park. It's going to be 61 degrees with mid humidity and pressure. So I do think we see some runs in this one. And we get an over-under of 8. Kind of feels like we should just smash the over. But Imanaga's faced these Dodgers 3 times, and he's done really well against them. He's 1-0 with a 1.80 ERA. We saw the Dodgers struggle to score in that Texas series. I mean, it was absolute struggle to put up runs. Give me the Cubs on the money line at plus 102 at their home field. We've just seen at home, they've just been playing really well. So give me the Cubbies to win this one. We saw them go to LA and kind of take the series there. So I like the spot for them. My only concern is Dustin May's pitch mix is really good. 108 average to lefties, 136 to righties. Both of these pitchers give up a low hard hit percentage. So I think it could go either way. But just when I kind of look at the mix, it really sets up like Kyle Tucker has a really plus matchup in this one. So I think Kyle Tucker could have an absolute day. So maybe on the players prop side, look at him. On the Dodgers side, I think Tommy Edman has a pretty decent day. So I think he has one of the better matchups. He and Mookie Betts would be the 2 players I would target in that game, but I would take the Cubs at plus money. Blue Jays and the Astros. So this one's going to be Chris Bassett going up against Ronel Blanco. I just hate this game. To me, I would lean Blue Jays to bounce back. I think a lot of people were on the Blue Jays yesterday. They got an okay matchup today. I think from a player's prop perspective, this is kind of where I'm torn. It's kind of an even matchup in my opinion. I think Vlad has a good matchup today. On the Houston side, I think Yordan Alvarez will have a pretty good matchup against Chris Bassett. So I would lean Blue Jays, but not putting any money on this. Don't really trust either team. Next game is going to be the Pirates and the Angels. Bailey Falter going up against Jose Soriano. It's going to be 61 degrees, mid humidity and pressure, and we got an 8-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to center field. So this should equal runs. I don't really trust the Pirates to score the runs, which they should because the Angels have a pretty terrible bullpen. Pittsburgh doesn't have a great bullpen either. But I think this pitch mix works out well for the Angels, but I can't pay this high of price to back an Angels team that I just simply don't trust. Can't pay 196 for that. So fade for me, but I do think the Angels win. You could do a first 5 run line if you want. There's a couple of guys that have good matchups tonight. I think Taylor Ward for the Angels should have a pretty good game. Mike Trout has a good matchup. A couple of guys have really good matchups here. So it's an Angels spot for me, but can't pay that juice for them. Tampa Bay Rays and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Brandon Pfaadt going up against Zach Littell. Zach Littell on the road has been a tragic story. He's just not good on the road. I don't like his pitch mix tonight. That said, I don't like Pfaadt's either. We got a 6-mile-an-hour wind blowing in just slightly kind of from in between left field and third base. Going to be 86 degrees. Ridiculously low humidity, though. Like 8%. And we do have low pressure, though. Pretty easy play for me in this one. Just taking the over. So give me the over 8.5, which you can find the 8.5, I believe, on FanDuel. So that's going to be one of my, I believe that's on the best bets today. I'll make sure, but it should be. So over 8.5 at minus 122 on FanDuel. So I like both of these pitchers to kind of get rocked a little bit. Littell giving up a 353 average to lefties, 204 to righties. Brandon Pfaadt, 258 to lefties, 200 to righties. Both of them have hard hit percentages above the league average. Exit velos above the league average. Don't really trust the Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen. So Tampa Bay has 7 lefties going tonight, which I think is an advantage. Arizona has 5 left-handed hitters. Just give me the over 8.5. You can take the over 9 and get a little better value if you want. I think that has a good chance of hitting as well. But just in case it ends on 5-4, I went with the 8.5. All right, next to last game on the card here is going to be the Brew Crew going up against the Giants. We've got Jose Quintana going up against Jordan Hicks. It's going to be 52 degrees with high humidity and low pressure, so very good for carry. And we got a 12-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to center field. So I kind of just wanted to take the over 7.5. That's kind of just where my head's at. But I think Jose Quintana actually has a really decent day. So I would take the Brewers on the money line at plus 114 if I had to pick. It's just too good of matchups when I look at the batter versus pitcher matchups here. Guys like Caleb Durbin, Rhys Hopkins, they have really good matchups today. Those are 2 that have exceptional matchups. Christian Yelich, William Contreras, Sal Frelick, all of them have really, really good matchups. We're going to look on the other side. It's not so much. So I just don't know if I can get behind taking the over as opposed to just taking the Brewers on the money line at plus money. So Brewers money line, that's where I'd lean there. Last game on the cards, Patrick Corbin Day. Patrick Corbin going up against Osvaldo Bido in Sutter Field. We got a 12-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to left center. It's going to be 63 degrees, mid-humidity, and low pressure. Just screams take the over with these 2 guys. Bito's still been decent, though. 2.61 ERAs, 2-1, but he's given up an opponent batting average of 284. 73% fly ball pitcher, which is pretty ridiculous with the wind blowing out. Patrick Corbin giving up a 400 average to lefties, 258 to righties. So everything here just screams take the over and move on with the day. So that's kind of where I would lean there in terms of picking a winner. I think there's an angle and to take the Rangers at plus 120 as well. So it's either Rangers or the over for me in this game. All right, let's give you guys the best bets and get you guys on your way. Like I said, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. Absolutely free. Link is down below. These plays do come out 30 minutes or so before the video, maybe more. So if you want to get them early before line movement, just join the Discord. All right, so first play on the card. And, of course, I forgot to download it. So 1 second. Well, we already talked about all these anyway, so nothing's going to come as a surprise. But first play on the card is going to be Yankees and Cleveland over 8. Just 2 not great pitchers, so let's just embrace it and take the over. Padres on the money line. We're going to take Baltimore and Washington over 9. We're going to take Royals run line at plus 100 on FanDuel. And just I think they have a good bounce back night with the O. Tampa Bay and Arizona over 8.5, just two not good pitchers. And then the Mariners, this was our last one. Mariners team total over 4.5. So this is a fade of Bayo and the still terrible Red Sox bullpen. And I don't really want to trust that the Red Sox are going to smash Bryce Miller. So instead of taking the over in that one, I'm just going to take the Mariners team total over 4.5 and plus 105. So and then a fun little parlay if you want. San Diego, Atlanta, Cincinnati, and Philly. Cincinnati's kind of the one I'd probably take out if I had to choose one, just in case. I do think they win, but that would be the one where I'm like, a little sketchier on. So pair those four together, though, you get plus 929. So those are the plays, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, and I'll catch you in the next video.